in the cohort, the other schools that are in our range, we were up near the top. We were second or third near the top. And it had been such an improvement from what it was like, say, 20 years ago here. Because my wife was on the board then, and they had real problems. They had something like 18% of the students not graduating and things like that. So I think we have to look at this as, for me, and that's the way I'm gonna vote, it's my vital service for the town. And I can say this from my own life, neither my mother and father ever went to college. We weren't particularly affluent. I had a chance to get a bachelor's degree at a good state university and a master's and a PhD. I was funded by every scholarship imaginable. If it wasn't for the National Defense Education Act and 100 other things, I would have never been able to make it. I could have never paid the tuitions people have to do today. And the job market is so challenging today with the changes and everything going on. To give the kids an education, to me, is a very important thing. The most important thing. That's how I see it. But on the other hand, I think we just have to be fair. Everybody's budget goes up, and I never saw any of them go down. And they can say that about the school budget, but if you think of the challenges that they face, I can't even imagine what it would be like to be a 4th or 5th grader, or someone going into 6th grade, say, having lost all your math skills, having not had a regular school year for 2 years in a row, everything interrupted, homeschooling and all the rest of it. The challenges are unbelievable. So I just think we want to be careful and give these people the benefit of the doubt. I was also surprised at some of the statements that were made by members of the board, but I would never take that personally to the extent that it would influence my perceptions of the vote or my feeling about funding schools or anything like that. People say things all the time that are foolish. They don't always mean it. A lot of times they're said in a moment of anger and so forth. This board has done a good job. I have respect for every member of the board here, and I don't think there's any need for anybody to be concerned about what was said. We're doing the best we can. And I think in the end, I'm hopeful that, like we have in the past, people will come forward and give the schools what they deserve.
I would just say, in completely understanding what you're saying, Rich, but at the same time, as we looked at the ESSER funding and the ARP ESSER funding and all the different grant fundings, we truly tried to balance off that exact fact. Because if I just went in and did all positions under grant funding, I would have just waylaid the budget when all the grant funding disappeared. However, there's been a number of items that we feel would be vital and receive top priority, and those are the ones that many of us have been talking about all night, right? So we put those in as part of the grant funding for a piece of it. There's other items that we're funding one-time costs that really shouldn't be one-time costs. Prior to me coming here, technology was drastically out of date. And I know we've talked about this in terms